Well, I mean, look, hey, you hear all the time, oh, playing in ranked, you can't grind ranked because of different reasons. You can't take scrim seriously because not everybody takes it seriously. It's bad practice. Oh, we're in the group stages. Nobody cares about the group stages. So they're just, like, what games are you playing?
Yeah,
Where are you getting your practice? At some point,
basically.
you got to step up to the plate and say, you know what? Maybe it's on me to take this seriously. Maybe it's on me to start using these times to we're playing to improve. So I think a lot of the teams in this lobby starting to do that. Shoot to kill, definitely the standard bearer for that movement. Well, here we go. Game number one, Cameron. We're heading over to the dusty sands of Miramar. We get a beautiful plane to start things off, and Vegas maybe went to go get a sandwich.
I mean,
A little
sounds like a
AFK
good
there.
idea, to be honest.
I mean, sandwiches are delicious.
Yeah, actually, I meant to get one for myself for this marathon, but fortunately not going to happen. Shrimsy, though, he might have a free snack in the form of Shuru if he's able to find a gun quick enough.
Oh,
Oh,
he hit one.
what? I looked away. I looked away right when he hit one. So yes, actually, there's a little bit of damage on the Nick, a little bit of a scare. I think something might have hit the ground before Nick did after getting hit with that bullet.
Just a little bit. I'll just have to check the pants just real quick. But who said the M16 is guard? What is Purdy? Who's Purdy Curdy on? I feel is he's on top. Yeah, Kurt is on top of Skazka right now. I almost didn't see it because
He's
you're
literally on
kidding
top
me.
of him right now.
You're kidding me, Skaz. How do you die there? I guess
Kurt
they
didn't even
got
play
into a
that bad.
they must have got into a punching fight or something. And Kurt
Oh, he
just
hit him with the vehicle.
yeah. Well, I'm wondering how Kurt lost hell. They must have been punching it back and forth because Skazka didn't have a gun. Otherwise, he would figure he would have shot him right out of the truck. Well, that's not a good way to start the weekend here for Pros Don't Snake. They need all the help they can get, as you can see, sitting all the way down there in 24th place.
I mean, with their position in this first circle on the east side, maybe they can put up a spot to try and keep STK out. Still looking at Vegas's slow fall. You have to imagine that
He
he
still
accidentally
hasn't
hit.
landed. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness!
well, he had to fly all the way back to Los Leones, and luckily he has a buggy to grab to take as his trip inside the city. And also, luckily, East Side Circle shouldn't have to drive too far. Los Leones is a pretty easy place to loot up at, especially when there's only one team. Significantly easier than when there's two or sometimes even three. Though it's been a while since we've seen three.
All according to plan for Vegas, as he will get down there towards the end. Now, circle did pop. We are going to catch an Eastern Circle. $5 says this is a Minas Generalis La Bendita. This thing ends right around there
I
somewhere,
hope
huh?
not. I hope not, but you're probably right. The only thing that will really deter that away 100% is a northern hardship. Everything else, we've seen it time and time again, constantly go back towards not just that area, just to the southeast. Which is why if it's phase one, I'd say just send it to one of those compounds, those few compounds with the wide area around it, because that investment has it's a pretty good upside, pretty good chance of it being very, very valuable. But Tactical 8, the team they're at the best position to do that. They're sending it a little past. They want a little bit of a terrain control. They don't necessarily want to be stuck inside low ground with no control in the late game. Fair play to them.
Like they may be thinking this can like get a little farther north up in this area. Meanwhile, you can see Duel already making moves in the south, and Clueless also taking over the La Bendita compound, or the compound just to the southeast. Also a very strong place to hold. See where everybody decides to go as Sonic makes their way in. Sonic, not the best day last time they were in this lobby. 27 points. And it was just it seemed like a struggle for them. They were never able to get things going really. Now, their first day playing, they got 74, so it was kind of okay. But are we looking for Sonics to maybe improve in this lobby, especially considering the fact that this is the lobby that SK is in? If you're a Sonics fan, you clearly would like to see them outperform their competitors, right?
Yeah, for Sonic, in stark contrast to Duel, who we haven't really seen play at that roster, their brand new roster. Sonics we've seen play at this level time and time again, so I imagine that the such a low point grab on a single day is not the standard, is not the baseline. Now 72 points or whatever it was, that's pretty hard to come by consistently as well. It's probably going to settle somewhere in between for the days moving forward.
Unless you're week 1 SDK, right?
Unless you're week 1 SDK.
Unless you're week 1. And then, of course, ATC, once again, going to be running across the bullets of STK here, just temporarily. Everybody looks like they're getting into the circle cam. We do have a few teams taking their time, coming in the long way around. S1, not the best start to their campaign. 16 points, 18 points, and 11 points in 3 days play. Now, we did want to cut him some slack because of the new player in Decinator. But Decinator has actually, in my eyes, has been showing up in a big way for this team, and it's just kind of everybody else that's dragging a little bit.
Yeah, you're right about that, how Decinator was really the one, I think, who's probably gotten them the most points by himself single-handedly if you were able to calculate point value of a single player, and I know CD6 can, so I'll talk to him later about it. But unfortunately, all his plays come in really clutch moments that you've already essentially lost the game. It's just trying to find those few extra points at the end, maybe wipe a team in a 1v3 before you end up going out a couple of moments later because of the way the blue is pushing in. And you always want a player who could do that in your back pocket. Like, that's the reason why I think Sharpshot, his stock has fallen down a little bit over the course of 2020, but that's why I think he's still such a valuable player to have. You always want to have one sort of clutch player. But when the rest of your team, when the foundation isn't really there to set that clutch moment up to be the anomaly rather than the the requirement, then yeah, there's only so far a player like Decinator I think could take you.
Well, I will admit that I had big things in mind for ATC with the addition of Sharpshot, and you know, to be honest, based on the eyeball test, you know, obviously it's not showing up in the stats really. I mean, they're sitting kind of right in the dead center of the lobby, but this ATC squad, when they keep 4 up in the late game, they turn into a killing machine. And that's kind of what I was expecting out of that squad. And I'm really excited to see it play out. Meanwhile, Hella, he gets spotted out on the mountain. I don't think that's a res that's coming through anytime soon.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard one. We saw that was done from STK, which is a very good shot. And already on the minimap, you can see STK pressuring down. I thought there was just going to be a one and done. Hey, don't pay, kid. Don't peek this direction again. But STK, they are potentially looking to move on this. They're not in vehicles. It's more just a gradual take of ground, gradual take of space. See if Fabled sort of overextend and give them more opportunities off of the back of this knock. But it doesn't seem to be the case, and they're backing out.
I'm actually really, this is an excellent res here by Greg Shot. I mean, obviously, you know, there's only so much you can say about a good res, but that was looking a little bit dicey, and Greg Shot not leaving Hella behind, and that is going to be great for Fabled as they're able to keep 4 up going into the next parts of this game. What you got?
While we have a quick moment, I just want to bring up, I was not asking CD6 to send me the point allocation for Elusive immediately, but he sent them to me already. So we can actually go into detail about this. Bottom to top, Fizzle has earned 7.25 points for the team. JL Day, 9.58. Sneak Attack, 10.92. Decinator, 17.25. So that's a pretty big jump from second place to first place. So if that doesn't show you how valuable this player is, I don't know what will. But that being said, circle shifts over towards the west, and this might be a little bit of a weird one.
Yeah, this is your hard north shift that you were looking at. I think a lot of people were thinking Minas Generalis, maybe La Bandita, but it cuts a little bit farther to the north, leaves Minas a little bit on the southern side of the circle, and you can see a lot of teams hopping into vehicles to reposition, even if they were in the circle. Sonics, Comets, TC, all trying to get a little bit closer to the middle. Right now, Tactical Aid is going to run into PDS, spot him out. PDS already has lost 1, and now they're in a little bit of trouble. So it is long-range fighting going back and forth. So it looks like Sociopath will be able to get a little bit of a flank and maybe pull the pressure off, at least somewhat for right now.
We're actually seeing a lot of shots around this area. You can tell this ground is a little more open, even by Miramar standards. Tactical 8 are making their own tactical rotation towards the center of the
Hey.
map, trying to break line of sight. Yeah, you see what I did there? Away from Prozone's sake and sort of trying to avoid a lot of this fighting that's happening in the southeast. You're seeing that in your kill feed,
Mhm.
actually. Clueless getting completely annihilated by the Comets. So that's one team out, but there might be more to come from that area. Say that area, Tactical 8, I thought they were safe. They're actually driving directly into ATC. Sharpshot with a good high ground, gets one, gets two. Surely, there it is.
Gonna get three, might as well make it a baker's dozen. Let's take the whole team out. Why not? Sharpshot with the quick three-piece. They are gonna lose one. It looks like, yeah, Marcelic has gone down, but T8 with the rotation into the blind spot, they did not see him, and Sharpshot real quick on the trigger. Now, what happened with TC? They were coming from the compound just to the southeast of La Bendita. They were racing for the compound where Comets is at. Comets gets there first. They both land there at the same time. Comets wins the fight. Now Tiggleton's going to run right up on Duel, and look at that. Cherry Poppins ready to go as Sonics overextending just a little bit. I'm not sure what Tig saw there to make him think that that would be empty, but that's going to be Sonics losing him very early.
Yeah, that's a big loss for the Sonics to take. We're talking about them trying to have a better day today and already not the best start. That area that all these teams are trying to retreat from east of La Bendita so open. Usually it's only super dangerous during the late game, but apparently it's very, very lethal right now still of teams all trying to rotate through it, trying to get away from that open ground, trying to find at least a little bit of terrain cover to utilize during these engagements, during these fights.
We'll see what Sonics decides to try to do as they continue to play these hillsides. They're, I mean, relatively safe. You know, could be worse. We'll wait for this next circle to pop. And if you look at the map, you'll see most of these teams dug in pretty well. Only a few shots coming out here and there. Very, very sporadic and sparse. STK, meanwhile, with that high ground position that they took very early, they get blessed with this circle shift. And they have a fantastic position to play this out. 2-2 split right in the center right now. Lots of vision over everything. And wouldn't you know it, they get it again.
No.
As the circle centers up right on top of Minas Generalis. A few teams are going to have to make their way in. Rumblers, SDR, S1, they're going to have to find some real estate in here. But looks like they actually should. 53 alive at 12 minutes, Cam.
This is really bad because dead center of this circle, I was hoping for a hard shift one way or another because now dead center of this circle is unplayable land. And unlike other times where there's unplayable land in the circle, I don't think anyone can know which direction it's going to shift. All you know is that it's going to hard shift, but whether it's north, south, east, west, zero clue. So I have zero, I don't know what any of these teams are going to be playing with that in mind. There is no right answer in a circle like this.
Well, it depends on your rooting interest. Do you think that STK gets the circle luck all the time, or do you think that Sonics gets the circle luck all the time? Your question is about to be answered depending on whether this thing cuts north or south. But looks like Sonic's going to go ahead and reposition inside Minas Generalis with the three that they have. They will be sharing it with Fabled, who is 2-2 split throughout this. Doesn't look like Fabled is overly interested in pushing onto this, but they will keep a weather eye on the team in purple down to the south. Veritas, meanwhile, also starting to creep over. You can see Keenan has made his way in, and now Duel actually going to backfill on Sonics with Wooly here just a little bit. Take a little bit more, at least get a little bit away, a little bit of real estate away from the edge there for Duel.
Uncivil, as you can see, making this crawl over the high ground. This is where they got the knock onto Hella earlier. Fabled, I think at this point in the game, it was a good call to retreat away and just try and control the south side specifically, but that does give the space for Uncivil to creep up and potentially sort of rat them out. The SCK have a wide split, and I'm shocked that that hasn't been exported yet. There are still a bunch of teams that are trying to make their way into the circle, and the way that they're playing it, this almost feels like it's further on in the game than it actually is.
A lot of really rough terrain around there, and SDK using it to their advantage right now to avoid lines of sight onto their position. Uncivil, while he has crept down there, I would be surprised to see him take any shots unless he is 1000% sure that he can get a kill, because as he said, he is a little bit separated from everybody. He goes down, there's a pretty high likelihood he gets flushed. Meanwhile, Dodge, they're going to be making their way in on the northwestern part of this circle. They do have a compound. It's just barely in. They're going to be under pressure from gas. One of the, in my opinion, probably one of the most surprising teams in this lobby or in this group stage so far is gas. They have really been turning it up. Can't wait to see if they can keep their performance going from week 1 going into this week.
Ooh. Sending a couple of flashes over, potentially to stop an expected push from the two from Dodge that pushed onto their hill. Honey Badger spots one, immediately prones down, but it's going to be shots from the Rumblers to third party onto this. And so the push from the gas cans is getting punished and completely deterred. The circle does shift off of them as well, over towards the east side. But it's a full kill onto Honey Badger. The question is, because of that shift, are any of these teams going to stay around? Because they're going to have to move a good distance once again. The Rumblers especially might want to use this opportunity, especially they got one kill, they're fine, and to loop away.
Go Sonic's going to push right into Duel. They went to the same compound that they just recently left, but all 4 of Duel are there. Win is not there yet. Shrimsy goes down, Mime goes down. Win is the only one left alive, and he is bang bussing it all around Minas right now, just trying to figure out how to stay a little bit alive. Sonic's going down very, very early here. Despite the fact that they caught a little bit of circle favor there. I'm kind of surprised maybe that they didn't think that Duel would backfill, or maybe they just lost view on it, but not the information that they thought that they had there. Meanwhile, you can see Dodge still moving in. It looks like they have avoided the fight with gas, but Rumblers has taken it right to them as Oldless has now gone down. This is all being overseen by STK at points here. Let's see McCoy and Gaxi trying to put together a push. Nikos has been left behind at the compound. Voxic all by himself right now. And here comes the push right up over the top. The prone guy gets spotted out. McCoy not having it. Finishes him off. Nikos, meanwhile, has left the compound. Los HD, you can see, has been left in the blue, but he's going to take a grenade, get knocked very, very low, and that blue is chunking. He might actually go down. Rumblers will clean up shop, but they will pay the price and lose Los HD.
So Rumblers did the opposite of what I expected them to do, or perhaps considered that they would do. They pushed directly into gas cans. As you mentioned, they're able to get 4 white, but is losing Los HD really worth it, especially now they have to push through the whole defensive line that is SCK, but over here ATC are holding off multiple attacks from a bunch of different teams. And Illusion are currently on top. There is a knock against Icy Flex suddenly by Finna. Dodge sort of peeking over, but they're wounded themselves.
ATC gets taken out. Illusion should be able to get this res. Fortunately for them, Dodge kind of pinned down by STK. STK had vision on all of this, but meanwhile now STK is getting pushed by Rumblers. McCoy will get the opening down onto Purdy Curdy. Now STK keeping that wide split. They should be able to wrap around this. It might be danger time for Rumblers as McCoy does go down. Alo finds an angle. We'll see where Luke 12 is as well. You can see he's kind of coming in the long way for Rab. Uncivil farther off to the south even has a little bit of oversight over this, but nobody in position to go for this res onto Kurt just yet.
Yeah, you can tell in the way that Ayla was running back up to that engagement. It almost looked like they didn't consider the push from the Rumblers.
Oh,
Maybe that fight with gas cans was too far away for them to hear. I don't know. It just seems weird for me. It seems like SDK might have tried to pay too much attention to too many things at once, and they do get punished for it.
Meanwhile, Veritas pushes in. They find Win, but not before Win is able to steal one off of them, gets the down and the flush. Meanwhile, Purdy Curdy gets stolen away by Dodge, who has managed to get their reses off. They're back up to 3, but now Illusion having to push out of the compound. They're running into S1. Already one down. Light Show trying to make something happen for his squad. Another player that has been added onto a roster that has been performing very, very well, although with varying consistency is Light Show as he throws the good grenade, but immediately gets down by Fizzle here. Fight coming around. Top Dog will find 2. He gets both of the knocks. There's 1 left for S1. Not sure where they is. It's gone. Of course, it's Decimator. Decimator finally gets spotted out by Icy Flex, and Illusion with the Long Live Ranger tags are cleaning up on the northern side.
You could tell that it was a very uncomfortable fight for them because they knew the option of Dodge to peek over time and time again, but they were able to make it work. But for how long is the real question, because it's not just Dodge, it's also Prozone Stake that are trying to punish this. this was gonna be a very difficult position from Illusion to move out from anyway, and so this is a game that I think they're gonna be happy going away with 7 points, not even any placements. All things considered, a pretty good game for them, and I don't see any way for Icy Flex to sort of to run out of this one. Dodge are chasing him down. Pros Sake are aware of his existence. The blue is pushing in. It's going to be a rough battle for him, but Waldo might be distracting Dodge enough. If these two snakes can have a little bit of a gentleman's agreement, maybe something can happen, but
The
we'll see.
Sharks are definitely circling, looking for Icy Flex, but fortunately the terrain giving them a little bit of something to work with. Meanwhile, Waldo has spotted out the far man, but he has not seen the near man. Just off to his right is Lampalot, but Lampalot is busy looking inside, and now he's going to hear the shots, and it's immediately going to be Waldo going down as he loses sight of Lamp. Dodge continuing to stay alive here on this northern side. Now STK has gotten their attention, but you can see the terrain that they're having to work with.
Icy Flex?
Easy. Oh!
Whoa, whoa,
Icy.
whoa, 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 whoa. They sent 2 over to take care of Icy Flex. They knew where he was. They wanted to chase down the last member of Illusion, and they assumed that 2 is fine. Apparently not. With the barrel, he takes down 2, and now Lampalot, he had full trust in his teammates to be able to take care of the problem, take care of the Illusion problem. Not the case anymore. He's going to have to run up and try and take this 1v1 because he knows the threat of Icy Flex shooting him in the back if he tries to push closer towards the circle on his own at this point.
Illusion had their best day of the group stages so far yesterday with, 33 points, and they're starting off hot today, 9 points. Icy Flex does get spotted out by Lamp. He's going to go down, but look at this STK on the move. Luke 12, seeing if he can wrap. Meanwhile, the circle keeps popping, and it keeps falling on top of Fabled. I'm not sure if Fabled even has a kill yet to their name. No, they do not, but nobody has gotten anywhere near him. So at this point, if you're Fabled, you're thinking 24 alive, we've got 4 up, we've got circle, we want those placement points.
Yeah, that's all they really need to play for. It's a very hard spot for teams to push in, which is why no one's really bothered to until now in the kill feed. Dodge is eliminated. Luke does finally sniff him out. Lamp gets removed, and now they can sort of continue to push over this eastern side and wrap around that high ground, that sort of mountain area overlooking the mines, and really take care of a lot of these teams that Fabled are sort of just waiting and waiting to come up to the doorstep.
Well, Fabled in kind of a weird position. I mean, you've got good position, you've got everything you want, except for kills, right? So they don't want to. Looks like Gregshot going to spot out Michael there, so that's VTS losing one. They're down to just Jazza and D-Treats. Jazza looks like he might be making a push onto Fabled. But you also got Shoot to Kill wrapping around the north side. They've got the one snake from Pros Don't Snake in Sociopath, and you've also got Subtle, who is the only player up here for SDR. So STK needs to be careful there. Here comes the push. As Fable. Okay.
That
was
looked
a
good.
nice little molly.
Unfortunately, the revive happened just in time for the 2 members of Fable to retreat away from that, but oh, that little unexpected. It gave me a bit of a heart attack. But teacher just kind of win that engagement, and they know there's one more player in this area. At this point, should expect him to be behind, well, that pillar that he is, but you can still see how complicated this area is to clear. So many different levels. The flash comes out, does give the position away. Gregshot's trying to climb up that hill.
Extremely tough stuff. They know exactly where he is. They can't really do anything about him, though. Rip kind of try to provide a little bit of support, and he's going to get low with the help of Hella. 17 HP left on D-Treats. The throwable's coming out. It'll be a very difficult one to land if they can do it. Gregshot really wants to get this, and look at that. Oh, he's going to find him with the grenade as well. We'll get the flush. It's down. Just Jazza. Jazza will find one. We've seen Jazza do crazier things, Cam. You get the flush as well. Yes, he can. Gets another point. 24 HP. Staying alive for the time being, but Fabled. They needed the win to make this worth. And they have just gotten ripped apart by this duo from Veritas.
Oh, there it is. The Veritas dream is killed. I do think that if Jazza didn't drop down initially onto the lower level away from that pedestal, then he would be able to help D-Treats out a lot more and they would have been more successful. But still, getting 2 out of Fabled from that position, complicated area to attack. A good enough attempt there from Veritas. But we're looking at the top 4 right now. Shoot to Kill, taking the high ground. We know how much they love it. We know how much they love to use it. Pentalol knocked. Uncivil finds a second onto Fable. Nope, doesn't land the shots. It was an opportunity missed out, but the smoke is still going to be there to allow them to maintain control. Although the shift did go
Oh,
towards the west.
Wooly getting the knocking the flush onto STK onto Luke is going to keep him alive, as Duel should be able to get the res. Now Duel up to 7 kills. They've been quietly collecting kills from that southern part of the circle. They keep 4 up, but they still got to find a way in. Now it's just them versus 3 duos. And boy, what good duos they are. You've got not only Uncivil and Alo, 2 of the most dangerous players in North America right now, but you've got Monty and Leda, one of the most a duo that's been around forever, it seems. I mean, on numerous different rosters, Monty and Leda is the constant, really. And then you've got Hella and Rip playing out of Minas that have fantastic cover, and you've seen they are more than capable as well. So Duel has their work cut out for him here, Cameron.
Couple of initial knocks, a little bit of damage. Not knocks, but a little bit of dinks. A little bit of a little love taps, I suppose.
Yeah.
They still have 4 up, and that's the biggest thing because everyone else is only duos. You never know how much information a team like Duel would have in this situation. Do they know that it's duos? Do we expect that maybe they're still looking for maybe a solo and a trio here or there? But the fact that they're still 4 up should give them the freedom to push ahead. I say that Alo with the double peek comes out with a headshot and the full confirm, making sure SDK can get every single point. Because now that they're down to 2, there's a significantly lower chance of them taking the win. But of course, if Alo can continue to land shots like that.
That is just absolutely disrespectful stuff coming out from Alo right there. The hard peek, the hard re-peek, saying, you know what? I know you guys know exactly where I am. I don't care. I'm just going to keep peeking until I get one of you. And you know what? He gets it, gets the knock, gets the flush. Penta's going to go down now to Rip as Duel is starting to get picked apart. And are they done? Yeah.
Yep.
They're gone. Just like that.
You can't really fault them, though. How can you push from that area? The fact that Alo didn't let them push up towards the north side, they then decided to take the maneuver down on towards the south end. Everyone could shoot at them from that angle. I would maybe play that one back. I would like to see them pressure Alo a little bit more while they could, but again, just the fear of the M14 from the high ground is that's a scary thing to go up against.
Well, either way, Duel 7 kills to go along with a 4th place. Obviously, they probably would like more off of that, but they can't be too upset as they did manage to collect quite a bit. Fabled, meanwhile, collecting 6 for themselves now. Rip starting to show up in the kill feed here as they figure out how they're going to play this thing forward. Hella has the high ground, but she's about to be joined here by Alo and Uncivil as they move as a duo. Trying to see what they can spot out. Comets has the most impeccable ridgeline, the most irritating ridgeline for everybody else in the lobby right now because they just can't seem to find an angle. And Monty and Leda will just continue to stay alive.
Ooh. Rip finds a little bit of damage, but no knock just yet. And while all this is happening, SDK push further and further in. You can tell Fabled are aware that SDK are going to be coming in from the north, but there's not much they can do as a duo at this point to sort of keep them out while also putting the pressure onto Comets. They realize there's a big possibility of them being sandwiched in the middle, which is why they haven't moved closer towards the center. Hella might be spotting out STK soon. She's actually stopped peeking around. She's too worried about getting her own head blown off. She saw what happened in the kill feed with Alo with that weapon.
Mm-hmm. I would not blame her in the least. I think she was maybe lying prone there temporarily to see. I think she either heard a footstep or was listening for footsteps. Either way, she didn't like what she heard, so gonna go prone for the time being. Let Rip do his thing. Try to take out Comets while Hella just holds the line and makes sure that the STK boys don't peek. Comets, meanwhile, they're done. They're in trouble. The circle finally started pushing in, and there's just nothing for him to do. But Fabled will pick up those kills. And now it's down to STK versus Fabled. Shoot to kill with the high ground.
And the center of the circle.
And the center of the circle. It's going to be a hard sledding here for Fabled. But STK...
It's a 2 versus 2.
It is. And to be fair, both STK going to try to stay together in this one as much as possible to prevent that from becoming a 2v1. But Alo, actually, no, Alo coming out to the side here, opting to go for the multiple angles on the fight rather than sticking together, the safety of sticking together. So we'll see how it works out for him. I mean, this is bread and butter for STK at this point. We've seen him pull it off so many times in the past, but they're going to have to keep track of where Hella and Rip are. And I don't know if they've caught vision of him in quite some time.
They haven't caught vision of each other. You saw Rip actually peek to the side of that wall, which shows that they're completely unaware of where STK are standing. The blue is pushing in, so that, of course, clears area for them, and now they're
Ooh.
somewhat sure of where they are. But in regards to Alo and Uncivil spreading out, I wouldn't say there's a lot of respect between the two teams here. So perhaps there's a little bit of ego on the side of STK, assuming that they're allowed to take these 1v1s without getting punished too heavily for it. We'll see what happens at the end of things because, well, the spot comes out. Uncivil finally finds one.
Yeah, they got vision of each other there. And Rip still looking for that peek up over the top, but Uncivil's going to land a quick down onto Hella. Rip will try to trade it out. He does, but not before Alo peeks over the top and gets the win.